For years, Pablo Escobar was more than just a man. He was a legend, a ghost, a king without a throne, ruling an empire built on blood, cocaine, and terror to the poor. He was a savior, the man who built homes, hospitals, and football fields. To the government, he was a menace, the most dangerous criminal the world had ever seen. For nearly 2 decades, he waged war against an entire country, defying presidents, assassinating judges, and even putting a bounty on the heads of police officers. A man so powerful that even from behind bars, he dictated the rules of his own imprisonment. But power never lasts forever. And when Escobar escaped, the world turned against him. His allies became enemies. His empire collapsed from within. And soon, there was nowhere left to run. December 2nd, 1993, the man who once ruled Colombia like an emperor was found, face down in his own city. But here's the question that still haunts history. Was it really the Colombian police who took him down? Or was Escobar betrayed by his own people? Did the CIA play a role? Or did he choose his own fate? To understand Pablo Escobar's final days, you have to understand how he got here. He wasn't born into power. He took it, brick by brick, bullet by bullet. Old photographs flash across the screen. A teenage Escobar stealing cars, running, small-time scams. Born in Rio Negro, Colombia, and raised in Medellín, Escobar wasn't interested in living an ordinary life. By the late 1970s, he found his true calling, cocaine, and in that white powder, he saw a path to unimaginable wealth. At the height of his empire, Escobar controlled 80% of the world's cocaine trade. Money flowed in faster than it could be counted, so much that rats ate through millions of dollars in storage. But Pablo wasn't just a drug lord. He was a paradox, ruthless to his enemies, yet generous to the poor. In the slums of Medellín, he built homes, clinics, and soccer fields. To many, he was a hero, a modern-day Robin Hood. But behind the smiles was a man willing to burn his country to the ground to avoid capture.
Viva Escobar!
Police, politicians, anyone who stood in his way, were met with a simple choice: plata o plomo, silver or lead. Escobar's audacity was unmatched. When facing extradition to the United States, he struck a deal to imprison himself on his terms. Inside La Catedral, he lived like a king. But power like that never lasts.
By the early 1980s, Pablo Escobar wasn't just a drug dealer. He was an empire builder. The Medellín Cartel wasn't a criminal organization. It was a shadow government, smuggling hundreds of tons of cocaine into the United States every year. Escobar's reach extended far beyond Colombia's borders. Money flowed in so fast, it had to be weighed, not counted. His weekly earnings? Over $400 million. So much cash, he spent $2,500 a month on rubber bands alone. But wealth was just a tool. Escobar's real power came from fear. His motto? Plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the bribe, or take a bullet. When words weren't enough, Escobar spoke through terror. Hundreds died. Not just targets, but innocent men, women, and children caught in the crossfire of Escobar's war against extradition. When politics became an obstacle, Escobar eliminated the opposition. Presidential candidates, Supreme Court justices, no one was off limits. But when you make the whole world your enemy, how long before even your allies turn against you?
It was the deal of the century, or so the Colombian government thought. To avoid extradition to the United States, Pablo Escobar agreed to imprison himself. But this wasn't a cell, it was a sanctuary. La Catedral, a fortress built to his exact specifications. Here, Escobar was untouchable, issuing orders, executing hits, expanding his empire, all under the government's nose. But absolute power breeds arrogance. And when word spread that he was torturing and murdering his own associates inside the prison, the Colombian authorities finally acted. July 22nd, 1992, Escobar escapes. A manhunt begins. But Pablo wasn't just running. He was plotting. And what followed wasn't just a pursuit, it was a war. With the United States pressuring for results, Colombia formed the Search Bloc, an elite police unit dedicated to one mission: bring down Pablo Escobar. But they weren't the only ones hunting him. Enter Los Peeps, a shadowy vigilante group allegedly backed by Escobar's rivals, and, according to some, aided by the DEA. Their mission was simple: dismantle his empire through fear and bloodshed. Escobar was a man running out of time. His allies turned against him. His family lived in hiding. His fortune dwindled with every betrayal. But was it really the police closing in, or was someone else pulling the strings? December 2nd, 1993.
After 16 months of cataroos, the world's most wanted man makes a mistake. He calls his son. A 2-minute conversation that would cost him everything. Cornered, desperate, and out of options, Escobar makes a final dash across the rooftops. But fate, in a wall of bullets, were waiting. Official reports claim Colombian police gunned him down. A bullet pierced his ear, ending the reign of the king of cocaine. Case closed, or so they say. Whispers spread. Was it really the police? Or was the trigger pulled by Los Peeps, fueled by cartel rivals, and, allegedly, the CIA? Suicide or assassination? Justice served, or a cover-up buried beneath layers of lies? Escobar's body lay cold on that rooftop. But the truth? The truth still runs hot with questions no bullet can kill. Pablo Escobar's death marked the end of an era drenched in blood, corruption, and unimaginable wealth. But at what cost? Over 4,000 lives lost, a nation scarred, and a legacy that still haunts Colombia's streets to this day. Was justice truly served that day on the rooftops of Medellín? Or was one monster simply replaced by another? Faceless organizations continuing the drug trade in the shadows he left behind? Escobar's empire collapsed, but his legend? It refuses to die. What do you think happened that day? Was Escobar betrayed by his allies? Or was it simply the end of his luck? Let us know your theories in the comments below. If you found this deep dive compelling, hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling true crime stories. Because in the world of crime and conspiracy, there's always another dark truth waiting to be uncovered.